Hello students, now in today's class we are going to learn structure of a carbonyl group. So carbonyl group is represented in this manner, which has been enclosed in what a bracket. I hope you can able to see and understand what is actually a carbonyl group. In carbonyl group, one of the carbon will be linked with water oxygen by means of a sigma bond and one pi bond. Now let us study this structure of a carbonyl group. So basically carbon, we know that the atomic number of carbon is 6, and it is denoted by Z, which is nothing but atomic number, and the electronic configuration, if you see, it is 1s2, 2s2 and 2p2. So the ground state electronic configuration for this carbon, we are going to consider the outermost electronic configuration, that is 2s2, 2p2, and here I have written with respect to what the electrons that are present in 2s orbital, 2px orbital and 2py orbital, but whereas in case of 2pz orbital there are no electrons. Is it clear, students? Because if you see the total number of electrons, then outermost that are only 4. So this is 2 and this is 2. So altogether here the one electron which is present, so the two electrons which are present in 2s2 orbital, one in a 2px orbital and one is present in 2py orbital, but whereas the 2pz orbital is empty. In the excited state electronic configuration, so the same thing I have to recall here, that is what 2s to 2p2. But here what happens, students, that in the excited state one of the electron from 2s orbital, so here there are two electrons, I hope you can see, this is one electron and this is another electron, right? So during excitation what happens, students, one of the electron will be migrating or it will be excited to the unhybridized 2p empty 2pz orbital. So altogether now there are 4 electrons which are singly occupied. So this becomes a 2s1, this becomes a 2px1, this becomes a 2py1 and this becomes a 2pz1. But if you see the hybridization of this carbon atom, that is carbonyl carbon, it is sp2 hybridized. So therefore what we have to recall during hybridization is this carbon will be involving one s orbital, right, and two 2p orbitals. What is that? 2p orbitals. That 2p orbitals is one will be 2px and other will be 2py, right? So therefore what happens, students, so we can write that these three are involved in hybridization to get sp2 hybridized. So since there are 3 orbitals, so therefore after hybridization we are getting 3 sp2 hybrid orbitals. Is it clear, students? So in the next part here we can see that, students, I have written here the structure of that carbon which is involved in what? Hybridization. So this carbon is having the hybridization sp2. So I have said that there are 3 sp2 hybrid orbitals which are directed towards 3 corners of a triangle which have been mentioned here. I hope you are able to see that. So this is one of the sp2 hybrid orbital which is having one electron. This is the second one which is having one more electron. Again it is an sp2 hybridized orbital. Similarly the third one which is also having one electron and it is an sp2 hybridized orbital, and the unhybridized 2pz orbital which has been mentioned here. So this is nothing but what? The unhybridized 2pz orbital which is not involved in hybridization and it will be having one electron. Is it clear, students? So now we have to learn the electronic configuration of what? Oxygen. Oxygen atomic number is 8, and if you see the electronic configuration we have written here 1s2, 2s2 and 2p4. The ground state electronic configuration, we have to consider the outermost electronic configuration, that is 2s2, 2p4, right? So here we have written 2s2 orbital and the 2p, actually p orbitals are 3, one is along x, along one more is with respect to y and one more is with respect to z. So in case of 2s orbital we are having 2 electrons altogether. I am going to write here 2 electrons, but whereas in case of 2p there are 4. So initially filling up of orbitals, takes place according to Hund's rule of maximum multiplicity, right? So first electron in 2px orbital, second electron in 2py orbital, third electron in 2pz orbital, and the fourth electron is now going to occupy in 2px orbital. Now students, in the excited state also the electronic configuration remains the same. So therefore here we are having 2 electrons which are present in 2s orbital. In case of 2px orbitals also there will be 2 electrons, 1 electron in 2py orbital, and the one more electron in case of 2pz orbital. Now we have to understand that earlier I have mentioned that the carbon of the carbonyl group is sp2 hybridized. Is it clear, students? Similarly, the oxygen atom of this carbonyl group is also sp2 hybridized. So therefore during hybridization here what happens is that we can see that the hybridization is possible only with s orbital and p orbital. But how many p orbital, that becomes a question here. Only 2 p orbitals are involved. So therefore these three, that is 2s2 orbital, 2px orbital and 2py orbital are involved in hybridization. Since the three are involving, so therefore we should get 3 sp2 hybridized orbitals. I hope you understand how many number of hybrid orbitals, that is 3, or which type, that is sp2, that is 1 2s orbital, right, and 2 2p orbital. So therefore altogether we should get 3 sp2 hybridized orbitals. So now students, let us see the diagrammatic picture of this oxygen after forming the hybridization. So here we can see that the 3 sp2 hybrid orbitals are represented in this manner. So I hope you are able to see this. This is one sp2 hybrid orbital which is having only one electron, okay, that is nothing but 2py orbital. Similarly, one is with respect to 2px orbital which is having 2 electrons, right, and here also we are having one more sp2 hybridized orbital which is having 2 electrons, and the empty which has been represented with red ink. I hope you are able to see. This is the empty unhybridized, I'm sorry, not empty, it is having 1 electron, but it is unhybridized 2pz orbital, right? Now students, during the formation of carbonyl group, we can see that I have represented here in a square bracket that how the overlapping has been taken place. I hope you are able to see it. So this is the carbon which has been written here, and it is having 3 sp2 hybridized orbital, and all are having 1 electron, right? And the unhybridized p orbital which is present on this carbon, here it is, which is having 1 electron. Similarly, we can see that there is one unhybridized p orbital on oxygen atom and it is having 1 electron. But at the same time, one of the sp2 hybrid orbital of oxygen will be overlapping the sp2 hybridized orbital of carbon, and it leads to the formation of sigma bond, because sigma bond are always formed by head-on overlap. Is it clear, students? And meanwhile, we can notice that the pi bond will be formed overlapping, that is by sideways overlapping above as well as below. So here I will write pi bond. Is it clear, students? And we can also notice that the oxygen atom here, it is having 2 lone pair of electrons which are present in sp2 hybridized orbital. Fine, students? Now students, you have to remember that one point. After seeing the structure of the carbonyl group, okay, I will be representing here once again. So this is the carbon atom. So this is the bond which is with oxygen, and there is one more bond. So therefore this becomes the pi bond and this becomes the sigma bond. Here we are having 2 lone pair of electrons. All we have to remember is that oxygen is more electronegative. So therefore we can say that these aldehydes and ketones are polar compounds, students. These aldehydes and ketones are polar compounds. It means they are having polarity because of electronegative oxygen atom. Now we are going to learn the chemical properties of aldehydes and ketones. So when we have to learn chemical properties, we have to concentrate on 2 points. First point is aldehydes and ketones are polar compounds. Already we have learned just now, and these compounds will be undergoing a nucleophilic addition reaction. This point you have to remember, students. Aldehydes and ketones undergo nucleophilic addition reactions. One has to remember that alkyl halides will undergo nucleophilic substitution reaction, but whereas aldehydes and ketones will be undergoing nucleophilic addition reaction. Now students, let us try to understand how the nucleophilic addition reaction is taking place with an example of an water carbonyl compound. Here I have taken water a carbonyl compound, and it is flanked by 2 alkyl groups. You can see that here also there is R, and here also there is R dash. Just to differentiate these R groups, I have written here R dash. Already we know that this carbonyl group is polar, so therefore pi bond will be migrating towards this oxygen, and it bears a partial negative charge. Meanwhile, this carbon will be bearing partial positive charge, and this partial positive charge will be seeking nucleophile. So therefore the nucleophile is nothing but electron rich species, and it will attack at electron deficient, that is what this carbon atom. So therefore we can write the intermediate in this format now. So I will be writing here R, then followed by C, single bond O. Now it will be completely bearing positive charge. Why? Because the nucleophile has already attacked now. So therefore I will write here nucleophile, and we are having the one more R dash group. So this is an intermediate, right? So this intermediate, in the presence of an acid, that is what H plus, it will be undergoing a very fast reaction. Initially the reaction will be slow, but later on it will be what, very fast. By abstracting this, that is what H plus. So therefore H plus will be readily attacking on this oxygen atom to give the compound, that is what, nucleophilic addition product. So R, then C, then followed by, we are having a nucleophile, then followed by OH, and the other part is what, R dash. So this is our product. Actually students, this nucleophilic addition reaction are slightly carried in an acidic medium. So here you are able to see that I have mentioned here H plus at a pH of water 3.5. okay, we have to carry out the nucleophilic addition reactions of aldehydes and ketones at a pH of 3.5. When we carry out here, these lone pair of electrons will be attacking to this H plus to give an intermediate protonated carbonyl compound. So this is a protonated carbonyl compound. You can see that this oxygen is now bearing what, positive charge. In order to stabilize itself, the pi bond will be shifting to this oxygen atom, and it will be generating in the next form, that is the positive charge on the carbon atom. So if I run the carbonyl compound at a pH of 3.5, the positive charge will be more generated on this carbonyl carbon, due to which the nucleophile will be attacking easily on this positively charged carbonyl carbon atom, and thus we can get the nucleophilic addition product more easily. But at the same time students, one should not increase the pH value of water, this medium, greater than 3.5. If we increase the pH medium, then the attacking nucleophile itself will be protonated and decreases the attack of the nucleophilic addition reaction on the carbonyl compound. Now we are going to learn the relative reactivity of aldehydes and ketones. In particularly we are concentrating on first part, that is on aliphatic aldehydes and aliphatic ketones. So I have written here certain examples students. The first one I'll write here 1, this is 2, this is 3, this is 4, and this is 5. The first one is called as formaldehyde, the second compound is called as acetaldehyde, the third compound is called as acetone, and the fourth compound, here we are having ethyl group, and here we are having methyl. Alphabetically E comes first, then followed by M, that is methyl. So therefore it is called as ethyl methyl ketone. And the fifth one, both are having what, same alkyl group, that is ethyl and ethyl. So therefore it is called as diethyl ketone. So what we can see here students, that in case of a formaldehyde we are having here hydrogen, here also hydrogen, and here also hydrogen. So therefore if you see this pi bond, whenever it migrates here in the form of what, a negative charge, so here this carbon is having now positive charge. So all we can say that the nucleophile will be readily attacking. So if I write a nucleophile here, so this nucleophile will be readily attacking to this carbon atom, right? Why? Because the positive charge here, it is now more here, right? But whereas if you see in the second example, that is what, acetaldehyde. So once if the pi bond gets shifted here on this oxygen atom in the form of negative charge, this carbon, okay, this carbon will be now bearing which charge? A positive charge, that is partial positive charge. But this partial positive charge will not be remaining. Why? Because here we are having an alkyl group, that is methyl group, right? So it is an electron donating group. This methyl group will be giving electron to this carbon atom, due to which one we can say that this partial positive charge will be what? Diminished. So once if the partial positive charge is diminished, then the nucleophile will be not attacking, or the rate at which the nucleophile is going to attack that carbon will be not possible. So therefore, greater the number of alkyl groups, then the reactivity will be what? Decreasing. Why? Because any electron donating group will be decreasing the reaction. That is what a nucleophilic addition reaction. So from this we can say that aldehyde, that is aliphatic aldehyde, particularly formaldehyde, is much more reactive when compared with what? Acetaldehyde. Similarly, these two, that is 1 and 2, these are nothing but aldehyde. But if I speak of the next three, that is what? Ketone, 3, 4 and 5, here you can see that there are two alkyl groups. So therefore these two alkyl groups both are electron donating, right? So when this pi bond will be shifting here, this carries delta minus and this carbon is bearing now delta positive charge, but this positive charge is diminished by the electron donating groups, that is what? Alkyl groups. When they donate this electron to this what? Carbon, then the positive charge will be what? Diminished, and therefore the reactivity will be decreasing. So in this case there are two alkyl groups. So this is one and this is one, that is what? 2 methyl. But in the next one we are having here ethyl. I hope you are able to see that is a 2 carbon alkyl group ethyl, and here there is 1 carbon methyl. So therefore, particularly in ketones, I can say that acetone is much more reactive towards nucleophilic addition reaction than compared with the ethyl methyl ketone, and this ethyl methyl ketone is much more reactive when compared with the diethyl ketone. I hope everybody understood, students. Now students, the second factor is that the steric factor. So I have written here certain example. The first one is nothing but called as what? Formaldehyde. The second one is aldehyde, because here I have written here R group, okay? So therefore when we are writing here R, it can be just called as an what? Aldehyde. I cannot particularly call it as its name. So third one is what? Ketone. And the fourth one is a diisopropyl ketone. I hope you can see that this group, okay, this group is called as isopropyl. Since there are two isopropyl groups, so therefore the name of this compound is called as diisopropyl ketone. And I'm having the fifth example. So in case of fifth example, there is what? A tertiary group, okay, a tertiary butyl group is here. Since there are two tertiary butyl groups, so the name of this compound is called as ditertiary butyl ketone. Is it clear, students? Now I was speaking with respect to nucleophilic addition reaction. So in case of formaldehyde, the nucleophile can readily attack this water carbon atom when it bears a positive charge, when this bond is migrating here, because of polarity of water, the carbonyl group, because oxygen is more electronegative. So therefore what I can say that the steric factor is very less in case of formaldehyde. So therefore reactivity of formaldehyde is more towards nucleophilic addition reaction, but it is less with respect on aldehyde, because here I am having an R group here. So R group is a bulkier group, so therefore this aldehyde is less reactive when compared with formaldehyde. But this aldehyde is more reactive when compared with this ketone, because in this ketone I am having here two R group. These are bulkier group. It means the bulkier part of this alkyl group will be hindering the attack of this water nucleophile. Why? Because it is leading to steric hindrance. Space space is very less for this nucleophile to come and attack. So therefore in the fourth example, if you see students, which is called as diisopropyl ketone, there is no space only. So this is nothing but what the bulkier group. So the bulkier group are creating what a hindrance, that is called as crowding. So therefore the attack is less possible of this water nucleophile to this carbon atom. So therefore greater the steric hindrance, lesser will be the reactivity of that what compound. So all we have to learn is that the second part, that is what steric factor. The steric factor is nothing but what a hindrance or what a crowding. So therefore crowding is more in case of what substituted ketones. Is it clear, students? Students, now we are going to learn the reactivity of aromatic aldehydes as well as aromatic ketones towards nucleophilic addition reaction. So here I have taken an example of what a benzaldehyde. I hope you are able to see this compound is nothing but called as benzaldehyde, right? And we basically know that in this benzaldehyde here what happens. So this pi bond is a weak bond, okay? So therefore this will be migrating here, and this carries water delta minus, and this carbon will be carrying water delta plus. So actually the nucleophile has to attack now, but at the same time this carbon is linked with water benzene ring. So I hope you are able to see this, okay? So here in case of benzene ring, these pi electrons will be involved in delocalization, and this phenomena of donating electron by the benzene ring towards that carbon is called as a plus R effect, or it is simply called as a mesomeric effect. And because of this mesomeric effect, we can have the resonating structure. We can see that here a hydrogen and this carbon single bond, then followed by what oxygen, which is now bearing complete negative charge, right? So the double bond is what created here now. So therefore I can write now this as what benzene ring, but at the same time this carbon will be having now a positive charge. Why? Because the bond that was present here is now forming a bond between this carbon. So I have written here a double bond, and the remaining structure will be what as it is. So therefore this will be undergoing resonance. So therefore I can write now hydrogen, a carbon, then followed by oxygen, a negative charge here, then followed by a double bond, then followed by this benzene ring, and in this benzene ring this positive charge, and here this part will be here, right? So what I can write here, students, that so this bond will be what shifting here, so in order to compensate this positive charge. So therefore this positive charge will be what diminished, right? So this positive charge will be diminished, and I can write here what a double bond here, and the positive charge will be migrating here now, right? And the remaining pi bond will be present as it is. So therefore in the next structure what happens, this pi bond will be migrating here. So therefore I can write one more resonating structure. So I can write here benzene ring in this format, double bond here and a double bond here, and here the positive charge will be accompanied, and the remaining part a double bond C, single bond O, then followed by negative charge, and this hydrogen as it is. So in the next part I can write one more resonating structure here. So therefore I can write the benzene ring here, right? So this and a double bond, then followed by hydrogen, okay, then followed by this carbon, and then followed by this oxygen atom. Here what happens, students, in order to compensate this positive charge, the resonating structure is that this negative charge will be forming a bond here, and this carbon becomes pentavalent. At that time this pi bond will be migrating here. So therefore we can write the next structure, that is I have to erase this bond here now. So therefore this bond has to be erased, right? Okay, and this carbon here a single bond and remaining structure. So therefore double bond will be created between this carbon and this oxygen atom, and here we are having a single bond, and the remaining pi bond will be present here. Is it clear, students? So in these resonating structures what we have found is that this carbon atom will be having a positive charge, which I am mentioning in the first structure here, students, right? So but this positive charge is diminished by the delocalization of the pi electrons of water benzene ring. So therefore we can say that the aromatic aldehydes and ketones are less reactive towards water nucleophilic addition reaction. Is it clear, students? If you see the next part, that is with respect to what aromatic ketone, what I can write here is that I'll write one structure of what acetophenone. Acetophenone could be represented as CH3 single bond, then followed by C double bond O, then followed by what? Benzene ring. In case of this aromatic ketones, what happens, students, is that first thing is that what this pi bond is polar, this will go here and this oxygen bears negative charge. Meanwhile this carbon bears what? Positive charge. But this positive charge is compensated by two types of effect. One is because of alkyl group. This alkyl group is an electron donating group because of what? Plus I effect, that is positive inductive effect. And second part is that with respect to what? The pi electrons of benzene will be involved in delocalization, and this is because of plus R effect, which is called as a positive resonance effect, or it is also called by another word, that is plus M effect, that is mesomeric effect. Altogether we can say that aromatic aldehydes are somewhat more reactive when compared with what? Aromatic aldehydes, because in aromatic aldehydes this charge, that is what? The positive charge of this carbon atom is compensated by alkyl donating group, that is because of plus I effect, and other, that is because of what? The benzene ring, which shows a positive resonance effect or a mesomeric effect.